Forward and Out has been made possible by the generous support of the following: The Loft, Lesbian and Gay Community Services Center; Choice Travel; Stephanie's Living Room;
Welcome to Forward and Out. I'm Lisa Graziano. Our guests on this episode have been described as having powerful and inspired voices that preserve the authenticity of gospel music and its African American roots. Listen to why.
Should I dread? What have I to fear? I have peace complete with my Lord so near, so near. It's a wonderful fellowship. It's a wonderful fellowship. It's a wonderful joy divine. Wonderful joy divine. It's a wonderful blessedness. It's a wonderful blessedness to know that the ties that bind. It's a wonderful fellowship. Our hearts in Christian love. The fellowship of kindred mind. It's good to know the Lord, He's mine. It's a wonderful fellowship. It's a wonderful fellowship. It's a wonderful joy divine. It's a wonderful blessedness.
Derek Marable and Maria Elena Grant are two co-chair members of Lavender Light, the Black and People of All Colors Lesbian and Gay Gospel Choir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, Lisa.
That was fabulous.
Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about that show.
That was our annual Christmas concert, and the song is "It's a Wonderful Fellowship," and I enjoy doing it because it just lets me be me, and it says a lot. And
you guys are great.
Most of our songs, they say a lot.
They do. I caught one of your concerts. I had a great time.
Yeah, I remember.
You know, tell me about how Lavender Light was started. Like, who were the founding members of Lavender Light?
Tony Teal, Lydell Jackson, and Chaz Brack, who's still a member.
They founded the choir in February of 1985, and basically Chaz Brack had been used to singing gospel out of the south side of Chicago, had moved to New York, and was missing his gospel roots. He happened to meet Tony Teal at an airport. He was going home to Chicago for Christmas, and he saw Tony, and they had both grown up together in the south side of Chicago. Chaz had known Tony since he was 9 years old, and they hadn't seen each other for a few years. So he said to him at that time, now that we're both living in New York, we should start a gospel choir. But of course they were catching planes, and the plans fell by the wayside. The following year, Chaz was thinking again that he wanted to have this choir, and a friend of his, Lydell Jackson, who was very active in the community and knew a lot of people and knew how to get organizations started, said, let's do it. You know, you've been talking about doing this forever. Let's call Tony and let's start this group. So they put the word out that they wanted to form a group, a lesbian and gay gospel choir. They had their first rehearsal at the Friends Meeting House, which is on East 15th Street between 2nd and 3rd in Manhattan. About 6 people came to that initial meeting, and they started from there.
And
Wow.
That's
And how large are you today?
We're about 35 to 40 people.
We have a few people out on leave of absences. This fall, when everybody comes back from doing their personal things, we'll have about 41 members.
But we want to grow to 50.
To 50.
We want to grow to 50.
Yeah.
Be more dynamic than we are.
We'd like
I
to
can't
explore.
imagine that.
It's possible.
We'd like to explore the possibilities of what kind of sound we can make as a mass choir.
Are there different types of gospel music?
Oh yes.
You've got traditional gospel, you've got spirituals, you have anthems, and we try to incorporate all of that into our concerts because we have a vast audience out there. And we want to make sure we reach everyone so that you can come and the person next to you can come and you can enjoy it and that person can enjoy it and the one sitting behind you, they can enjoy it also. So we try to get it all in there.
What kind of an audience do you get? Because you're a lesbian and gay gospel choir. Is it mostly lesbian and gay people, or do a lot of straight people come?
No, it's very diverse. I mean, music is a universal language. So we have black, white, straight, gay, young, old. You know, a lot of mothers with their children come. It's important to note also when talking about types of gospel music that the literal translation of gospel is good news. That's what the word gospel means. So it can encompass many different things because basically you're spreading the good news of the Lord. And that's why there's so many different types of gospel, and that's why you attract so many different people. You know, because there's something in it for everybody.
And the good news is God loves us just as much as he loves the straight person, just as much as he loves the white person, the black person. God is love, and love is for everyone. And we try to incorporate that into our music.
That's great. Is that part of your mission is to really keep the black gospel music alive, isn't it?
Originally, that's how it was started when Chaz and Lydell and Tony first started out with Lavender Light. It was to keep alive the black sacred music, traditional black sacred music, in an environment that was supportive to lesbian and gay people. But I think as with anything in life, as it grows, Lavender Light is 8 years old this year. It's gone through so many changes with personnel. Tony is no longer with us. We now have a new director, Mr. Gregory Payne, who's been with us.
He's the one that at the concert.
He was the one at the concert that you attended. And he's taken us to a different level. You know, Tony had us at one level as a founder. Greg is taking us up to a higher level. You know, Lavender Light, this is the largest we've ever been. I mean, Lavender Light is used to being 18 to 23 people. The fact that we have 40 people in our group now is immense. So there's a whole change with that. And because of the changes, because of the new director, because of personnel coming and going, that's what changes the statement of purpose. So it's even though a paragraph was written in 1985 and 3 men said, this is what we want Lavender Light to be, it's very different now.
Sure, it's going to change with it. You have a lot of different cultural backgrounds and religious backgrounds within the group.
We've got Catholics, we've got Jewish folks, we've got atheists, we've got atheists.
I don't know if we have any atheists anymore.
Well, we used to have atheists. Okay,
so how does that work?
It works
because
well
you got. I mean, it sounds like you're so. It sounds very spiritual. I mean, just from sitting in the audience, you kind of leave there with such a great feeling and.
Again, that's something that's grown. Originally, when Lavender Light started, it was strictly for lesbian and gay people to sing gospel music. It wasn't necessarily a place for lesbian and gay people to worship. It wasn't. I mean, Lavender Light is not a church choir by any means. I mean, so a church choir usually performs on a Sunday in their church, and they do maybe isolated performances in other churches. Lavender Light sings for money. It's how the organization keeps afloat. We also try to administer to every facet of the lesbian and gay community. We try as much as we can to accommodate people and go wherever we're asked to go. But because Lavender Light started out as not a church choir, because people wanted to have a different life than the life that they had had in their churches, it wasn't so much about religion in the beginning as your own personal spirituality, you can say, well, God for me is this table.
Right.
So if you want to get down to worship table, that's fine.
That's it.
You know,
That's
I
it.
can say God is this chair. It's like God is everything. You
So
know,
it's
it's not male,
about-
not female. It can be air, it can be water. So it's about your personal spirituality and
Right.
what connected you as a person to the music, as opposed to what religion.
So it really
You
left a
follow.
level for people to be able to express themselves, be able to sing as much as they want, and just identify with
In our
whatever
original
they-
bylaws.
and be out and be gay.
And be gay.
And be proud of who
I
you
heard that
are.
that was a requirement, that you had to be
You
out
have
of
to
the
be
closet.
gay. You have to be out. Okay.
You have to be gay.
We go into so many different avenues of music. I mean, we have so many different stages that we sing on. Okay. We do churches. We do memorials. We do benefit concerts. We do everything. And so, if you're going to be a part of this group, when you go on stage, I mean, that's telling the world that I'm a gay.
Lesbian and gay.
I'm proud of who I am. Okay.
Good.
And so you have to be out. We had a couple of 2 straight women, okay, try to pretend to be gay to join this choir. And we said, no, it's not going to work because this is a gay and lesbian organization. I mean, why do you want to pretend to be something you're not, okay?
Right.
And we're not doing that. We are who we are. We're proud of who we are. And so we had to tell them, you know, we love
See
you.
that?
but
All straight people are trying to be gay now.
isn't it something? It's
However,
amazing.
I think it's not totally fair to say you have to be out. I think that people test their levels of outness
Right,
in
I
the
was gonna
group,
say
because
that.
you'll join
Yes.
Lavender Light and say the first year in Lavender Light, maybe you sing at the Lesbian Gay Community Center on 13th Street.
Right.
Maybe you sing at Metropolitan Community Church, which is a gay church. So you go to all these gay places.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day someone says, okay, now you're off to George Washington University. You're like, wait, to sing for, and it's like, then you have to ask yourself. So there's different levels of
So being
outness.
out.
And I think people become more out the longer that they stay in the
Okay,
group.
so you don't really, or you're not auditioning people and you say, well, are you out? Because there's really so many different levels of being out.
Right.
It's such a process that it's really hard to say,
you
well,
come out no matter what.
know.
Every day
Right.
you're coming out.
right.
you
I
know.
mean,
Yeah.
you know,
No, there's no requirement except that you be able to sing. I mean, when you come to audition for us, we're testing you in your musical ability.
But that was a big compliment for us, though, to have 2 straight people come and say, we want to be a part of this fabulous group.
Right.
You know, it was a really big compliment. So
that is.
Yeah, they didn't seem too complimented at the time. You know, they were not happy. It was like, we were like, oh, that's nice, you want to be here, but you have to go now. And it kind of took us a while to get rid of them. It took a good half hour to explain to
Yeah.
them that they couldn't be part of the group.
And even with this out thing, I joined the choir basically because I enjoy singing gospel music. I enjoyed Lavender Light, and I felt something that I had never felt before when I heard a gospel choir sing. And so with this choir being out as they are, it was a way of me coming out and expressing myself to my family, my friends, anyone else that I mean, it was a way of saying, Derek, you're gay.
So
okay?
that's how you told-
I'm getting
that's
over
how you
it, so I
told
want the
your
rest of the world to
folks.
get over it too. That's how I told my folks. You know,
Wow.
once I got into the choir, I had to tell my family. You know, and it helped me, and it was a great.
Did it help
relief.
them too?
It helped them too because they realized that I was singing and doing something that I loved, gospel music,
Right.
and it just it was something that brought us closer together too, which I'm glad of, because if I hadn't joined the group, there's no telling what my relationship would be like with my folks, even though they knew that I was different from everyone else, but they just couldn't put their finger on it. Now they know, and now they're proud of me because I'm doing what I enjoy doing.
Wow, that's great.
And I get to work with beautiful people like this one right here.
And why
find
did
it
you start?
hard
How
to
did you
imagine
get
that your
started?
family could not figure you out at a young age, okay? But we'll buy it if you say so, okay?
Let's buy it,
We'll
'cause
just
I
buy it
said
if you
Don't all the
say
gay
so.
boys say that?
You know, of course, you
My
know.
parents never knew.
And it's like you're sitting home playing with
But
Barbie
wait,
when
it's not
everyone
like
else
they-
has like Ken.
But wait a minute, it's not
and-
like they
and
said
baking cakes,
It's not
you
like
know.
they said they didn't know. They said we knew, you know, but they were waiting for me to come out and say it. You know, they couldn't.
And
approach
that's
me.
a really wonderful
And
way
yeah,
that you
it
came
was.
out.
So I enjoyed
Were
it.
you out when you started with the Lavender Light?
Yeah, I was, because I had known that I was gay from I was 9 years old. I was originally born in London, England. I'm a British citizen. And so by the time I moved to New York at 14, it was like, I know what I want, but I don't know how to get it. You know what I mean? So it was like going around and dating different girls in high school. And so I joined Lavender Light 4 years ago. I had come out to my mother by then, and it was in levels with my mother because she had just gotten used to me being out.
Right.
And then I went and joined Lavender Light, and then she was like, oh my God, now she's going to be really out. You know,
So she knew it was going to be where you're performing.
yeah,
every
and she
day.
wasn't really happy at first. It took her about 2 years to come and see me in concert, the concert that you attended.
Right,
My
she
mother
was
was there. And she's very supportive of the group now because she sees the positive effects that it's had on my life. I think that my mother worries like most parents worry about their children when you put yourself out in the front line.
Right.
Then they're just worried that someone's going to take shots at you and how it's going to damage you. And, you know, I'm very outspoken. And I'm very militant. I'm very proud of my gayness. So that even though she's happy that I'm proud of who I am, she's worried that someone else is going to want to hurt me because of it.
But so you joined when you joined also because you liked the music mostly. And
It was
that's what
totally
led you
about
into
singing.
it?
Because I didn't know anything about gospel music then. I mean, you know, and growing up in London, I grew up listening to The Who, listening to the Beatles. My father, you know, threw in Billie Holiday for good measure. So I didn't know anything about gospel. And what I did know about gospel, I was afraid of. I just thought it was people that screamed a lot. You know what I mean? It's like you're sitting in London in the suburbs and you see Patti LaBelle on TV when she used to have her hair like she had just had electric shock therapy, you know. You're like, wow, you know, and then you see people sweating and crying and falling on the floor. I just thought it was like this thing that extroverted people did. And then, so when I came to New York, I didn't know anything about Lavender Light for quite a few years. And then a girlfriend that I was going out with started talking about the choir, and she went to their concerts, and she was like, you really should see them. So I went down to the meeting house one Monday night when they were rehearsing. We rehearse on every Monday from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Friends Meeting House. And they sang a song, and they opened their mouths, and they just blew me away. I was like, oh my God,
Right.
I
That's
have
how I
to
felt
be
when I went to the concert.
like part of this, you know, because it was just this powerful sound that just came out of nowhere. And that was it. So I joined knowing nothing about gospel, but just knowing that I wanted to sing with this group.
What part do you sing?
I'm soprano.
Soprano?
Second soprano.
Second soprano.
Derek?
I'm a tenor. Okay.
What are the other parts? Is
We've
it
got
alto and
alto, tenor, soprano, and we have baritone.
go over that with me. Now, what's the
highest.
I understand soprano.
The highest is soprano. Okay.
And you have even higher. You have first soprano and second soprano.
So first soprano is the highest.
Right.
Are you first or second?
Second.
Okay.
Okay. Then you've got altos. Then you've got first tenor, second tenor, and then you've got bass baritone.
Which is the lowest.
Which is
So
the
give me a
lowest.
note for tenor.
So for a note for tenor, first or second.
Well, are you first or second?
I'm a first, second. I can do it all. I'm a man
I
of
knew that
many
you could
talents.
for some reason.
And he's so modest, which is his most appealing feature, you know.
Can you do a few notes?
La 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 la. La 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 la.
That's it?
I haven't vocalized today.
Oh, you're shy today.
I'm shy. I have to vocalize.
We
and
couldn't
get it
tell
all
from the
together.
clip that we saw earlier.
Well, that was energy coming out that had been pent in me from a whole week of rehearsals. You know,
Okay.
we rehearse on Monday nights, and during concerts that are coming up, we rehearse Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we had a dress rehearsal that Friday before the concert. Then we had to be at the stage like 2 o'clock that afternoon. So it was like all this stuff was in me. So I was rearing to go, you know. So it was like, get it out or keep it in, and I was ready to get it out. So.
Do you want to sing a few notes?
What could we sing? What was that song we were
don't
talking
know.
about before?
Just recently, Greg, who is a fabulous, fabulous person, okay, he taught us, well, we already knew the song, but it's one song that we do at the end of our concerts called I Woke Up This Morning with My Mind Stayed on Jesus, okay? And to incorporate a more of a homosexual attitude, we said, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom, which is what, you know, the choir is all about, freedom to be who we are. And so the song used to go, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. So we switched it. It's like, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. So it's like, you know, Jesus and freedom kind of, they're on the same
Those are your
level.
tenor notes in that song?
I don't know what those
I don't think
notes
that's the
were.
key of that song.
I don't know what
I'm
notes
like,
they were, but
wait.
that's the song.
Aren't you
okay?
lucky she's not the director?
I am so glad she's not the
Because he would
director.
never
I
have a
love
solo,
it.
and he would always be on probation.
She's jealous.
He'd
of
always
my
be on musical
voice.
probation. I'd be
Let's
like,
hear some from you.
well, I'm trying to think, what is the key of that?
Well, I don't know.
My mind set on freedom. We're up there. I woke up this
okay.
morning with my mind.
So I wasn't up there.
Stayed on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on freedom. Hallelujah. 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 Yeah, okay.
Woo!
See, that wasn't your key.
I don't care.
You don't care.
I'm not saying it.
That was excellent.
Thanks.
You know what else I loved from the concert is I think you read it too, the Litany of Restoration.
Oh yes, this was something that that we had been rehearsing one Wednesday night up at All Souls Church, which
It's
is
a heavy
on
piece.
Lexington and 80th Street. It's like this Universalist
Can you read it for us
church.
today?
Yeah, and we were going through a book there. And Greg, our director, said, I found this piece today, and I think that it pertains to the group, and I'd like to make it part of our program. And it goes like this. If recognizing the interdependence of all life, we strive to build community, the strength we gather will be our salvation. If you are black and I am white, it will not matter. If you are female and I am male, it will not matter. If you are older and I am younger, it will not matter. If you are progressive and I am conservative, it will not matter. If you are straight and I am gay, it will not matter. If you are Christian and I am Jewish, it will not matter. If we join spirits as brothers and sisters, the pain of our aloneness will be lessened, and that does matter. In this spirit, we build community and move towards restoration.
And that's a powerful statement.
It was a very
really
powerful
beautiful.
statement,
It
so
really
we were
is.
just like, we should have that.
So we were like, we got to spread this with the rest of the community.
Right.
You know.
Definitely. I want to take people to your next concert because
Please
I
do.
had such, I mean, it just hit me. Like even when you read you
Right.
read that at the concert, I was like, tears in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dynamic.
You know, it touched us, and it sort of summed up how we were feeling at that time preparing for that concert. We were like, wow, this covers a lot of how we feel and what Lavender Light is, because
Right.
it's so many different people from so many different
Yeah, there's such
backgrounds.
do you think that all that diversity just makes it stronger and more powerful?
I think it does. I think it really does because Greg is a very special, unique individual, okay? And Maria is not just a co-chair, but she's a special co-chair. She's a special person. Each one of our members, we're so different. I mean, from our backgrounds to what we do for a living, that once it just culminates, it's like, it's the sound that you just cannot explain.
Right,
You know, sometimes I would
exactly.
rather sit in the audience and listen to the choir as opposed to being a part of the choir. It's just that touching. You know, it's just that powerful.
It is, as
And,
you're sitting in the audience too, you receive it that way.
Yeah, and just what you feel is exactly what we feel. So it's not lessened in any degree. Okay, if you feel like, you know, you want to jump up and down, that's because we feel like we want to jump up and down too. And that's it.
I think also it makes us stronger because the fact that we come from so many different backgrounds mean that we're challenged on daily life. Every day, it's like you have to deal with different things. You know, people will come in and they'll audition and they'll be the new members. So the old members are challenged to accept them. You know, because there's a tendency to clunk together
Right.
when you know, people that are other or stranger than you don't know. There's like a tendency to be more closed, and we have to be open because the mission of our choir is to be open. People from different classes, you know, people that make more money than other people, you know. I mean, we're just challenged daily, and we have to
Yeah.
get through these things in order to stay together. Our differences as male and female,
Sure.
as black and white. So that by the time we go through this, we do our process, we talk, we have our meetings, we decide where the group is going. By the time you've seen us in concert, it's a result of all the work that went into the
And
months
you'd never
ahead
even know
of
that there was anything, you know,
Right.
anything.
Plus,
I mean, I
But you know-
can have a bad day at work, and I'll say, oh, I don't feel like going to rehearsal, but I know that once I get there, seeing this choir and listening to the sounds and
It
the
all
song,
goes away.
it all goes away, and
That's
it
great.
can carry me through the whole week.
And AIDS is a constant
course.
challenge. So many of our former members passing away, and we have to deal with that. People dying at
Yes,
really young
definitely.
ages. You
And
know,
you've done some work with AIDS awareness and AIDS education as well.
many years ago, before Derek or I were in the choir,
We got a grant.
Had
they
a
had gotten a
grant.
grant from the United Conference of Mayors.
that's great.
And the grant was so that Lavender Light could go around the country and educate people about AIDS through music. So they did workshops in places like Atlanta. They went to different schools in New York. So yeah, we've done a lot of work through AIDS, and it's one of the primary sources that we serve is the AIDS community whenever we can.
And for our concerts, each year we try to give away, like each concert, we try to give away like 50 free tickets to PWAs.
Oh, that's
Okay,
great.
That's, you know, that's our way of giving back. That's one of
really
the ways
wonderful.
of giving back.
That's
You know, as well as singing. I mean, one of the most touching things that we did last year was Easter Sunday services at Bailey House, which is a hospice on Christopher Street, and it was really nice to be able to go there and sing for those people that were not going to
Right.
be able to spend Easter Sunday with anybody or go anywhere
you
else.
guys really do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we're very busy.
Fabulous.
We stay on the go. I mean, it's like a 24-hour job sometimes. Sometimes it's nerve-wracking, but I mean, in the end, it pays off.
Yeah, it's very
Sure does.
rewarding.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Wrap it up.
Unfortunately.
Ah.
I know, we're just getting started.
We have to have a part 2.
Okay.
Part 2.
Yes, the sequel, Lavender Light, the sequel coming to a theater
We will
near
definitely
you.
do that. Okay, we're going to end the show with another selection from Lavender Light. But first, thanks for watching, and send your comments to Forward and Out, care of The Loft, P.O. Box 1513, White Plains, New York, 10602. Or call the Loft's helpline at 914-948-4922. Stay tuned for the Loft's community bulletin board directly following the closing comments of the show. Make sure to take in a performance given by Lavender Light. It is well worth your time, as you've heard here today.
Do you have time to say the voicemail?
Sure. And the voicemail for Lavender Light is 212-714-7072. And until next time, be proud.
King of kings and Lord of lords, King of kings and Lord of lords. He's gonna reign forever. Oh, come on and give him the glory. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on and give him the glory. He's worthy. Give him the fire. Hallelujah. And he shall reign forever. Give him the glory. Hallelujah. He's worthy of the glory. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Local Gay and Lesbian Community Services Center is a place to connect and get involved. Various ongoing groups and social events are conducted at or by your center, and it is also a clearinghouse for gay and lesbian information nationwide. We urge you to join, get involved, and support your community.